So what would you say is the role of mindfulness in situations like this?
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I would say that there is a great role to play with physical wellness. Mindfulness is so important that we need to do this, every day of our life. It has to be part of our life. But I always say it's important to do what suits you, because there's so many choices out there. There's so many things you can do, but you need to understand yourself and do exactly what suits you. So it's important because it helps to foster self-awareness. It helps to foster resilience, and we're here because of resilience, getting over disruption. So it's very, very important that we indulge in those things. We take them as part of our lifestyle.
Okay, so you're saying, and which I believe it so seriously, that what works for you always works. Because when you're looking at sustainability, you cannot start with what does not work for you, right? You start with what works for you, and depending on where you are, you can always navigate towards other aspects of movement. So when it comes to mindfulness, you can choose yoga. Some people can choose meditation. Some people can choose words of affirmation. So find what works for you. Okay, so this is now for him. Man, I heard your title and I was like, my God, I've always dreamt of being a black belt, but I knew it's not going to come to pass.
Why is that?
Okay, and the reason is because it doesn't work for me. It's not something that I'm crazy about. I prefer to explore other forms of fitness as opposed to this, but I want my girls to try it for, what do you call it? Is it for personal defense? Yes, so that's what I would like my girls to do. So my question here for you is, I read up that you started your journey when you were 12. So that's very interesting. I hope there's time to talk about that, but I would like you to set, to share why you think it's important to set and prioritize health-related goals during disruptive times. And disruptive times, let me just break it down. Right now, the economy is not smiling. The cost of things just keep growing like, I don't know, it's not like the money in your account. So it just keeps growing. So how do you think we should go about setting and prioritizing our wellness goals?
I think it's really important. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
I think it's super important because otherwise, what are we going to do? We've heard of so many people having suicidal thoughts and taking a downturn in their lives. But then we have people, we have a purpose, we have people that we're here for. So we have to stay alive. And for me personally, I feel, firstly, I cannot overemphasize my faith because even when I was 12 years old, that was really, really part of what made me change my life. I was overweight from when I was born. I was bulimic. Nobody put the idea in my head. It came to me. I was clinically bulimic for years. I was depressed for many, many years. Thought of even taking my own life at some point because I was one of those big girls that looked 25 at 11, and I was almost raped because they thought I was a grown-up. Not that you should rape a grown-up or whatever, but so I had to find a way to change my life. And the first thing, it wasn't even like a life earthquake kind of prayer. It was just like, God, I need help. And all of a sudden, ideas flooded into my head, and I knew I had to change my lifestyle. So first is exercise. Of course, we know about endorphins, we know about dopamine, we know about serotonin. All these things are real things. If exercise is yoga for you and you feel good after it, stick to it. If exercise is running a marathon for you, stick to it. But anything that releases all those feel-good enzymes and chemicals into your body is super good for you because also it affects your cognitive activity as well. It affects how you relate to other people because when you feel good and you look good, you're good to people. I know it seems a bit superficial, but think about it. If you're not, someone said, broken people break other people hurt other people. But when you're happy and you feel good and you're comfortable with where you are, you would project that to other people as well. I cannot remove nutrition from exercise, because nutrition is super important. Even, I don't want to say it's more important than exercise, but it's just as important, because the same nutrients that we gain from food, real food, not junk food, real food, also help our cognitive activity, also help to regulate our mood, also boosts our energy. When you feel good, you look good, you are good, you project goodness to other people. Yes. And another thing is positive mentality, having a positive mindset. I'm a very optimistic person. I believe being optimistic really helps you see life in a different way. And gratitude as well. We live in a society where a lot of people complain a lot and it's not their fault. There's so much going on. But we need to remember that where we were yesterday and where you are today are two different places. You know what I mean? The economy is harsh, but we can still eat. We thank God for that, And then there are some people that can't eat, but there are other people that feed people that can't eat. So God has a way of balancing the equation somehow, And another thing is hydration, good sleep. A lot of us suffer from insomnia. Some people know, some people don't know. But we really, really need to be intentional. Make sleep a production. I've suffered insomnia since university. It's a production. And the last thing, which is the first thing for me, is prayer. I cannot remove my personal relationship with God outside my life. I know it sounds like a cliche and everybody says, yes, they have that one, but He is my absolute best friend, my absolute counselor. Even when I forget and I go and ask this person, that person, when I come back, it's like, oh, well, Dolly, you should have come to me in the first place, isn't it? And I really, really draw strength from that. So I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you did, and more. Thank you very much. So I'm just, before I reach out to Bimbo, just to buttress what you said, there's health is a broad word. And there's physical health, there's emotional health, there's mental health, there's social health, and there's spiritual health. Now, if you lack in any of these five, you can't be said to be healthy. So real health is when there's balance across all these five boards. Because you can hear her saying things like this. You're hearing her saying things around spiritual. You're hearing her saying things around mental. Everything we're doing here is towards your well-being. So I just want to buttress that fact that if you're skinny, doesn't mean fit. Skinny doesn't mean healthy, right? Okay. Mr. Bimbo, I saw the beautiful work you did with Dance Rapid during the time when people were not able to go out. While you were doing that, I didn't see the disruption coming. So I lost my own business that was, while people were thinking internet, I was like, I'm finished, So it kind of like shut me down and helped me redefine myself because of a couple of other reasons. But for you, I'm asking this question based on what I've seen, the work I've seen you do beyond your work in the dance practice. How can technology be leveraged to support health and well-being during disruptive periods? You've seen what happened from COVID up till now. How can technology help us? Because we know it's a double-edged sword, but help us. How can it help us?
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. Yeah. Thank you very much, Steph, again, and my colleagues. Excellent responses. We're there. Mm-hmm. We're at that point where you can no longer separate technology from what you do. That's it. We're there. And if you think that you're not there, I'll give you some 2 or 3 more years. People say that technology, AI and technology, there's this rumor, AI and technology is going to take over the world in a couple of years. That's not true. People who know how to use AI and technology will take over the world. So people like you and I will take over the world from people like you and I. That's the meaning. So if you are there and you still cannot, they send you an email and you say, I don't really do email. Send me a message on WhatsApp. or they send you, like for this event and most events, you have to engage with social media. And then you're one of those who say, oh, I don't really do social media. I don't post that much. I don't check my Instagram, my Facebook. Yesterday I sat with someone, one of my proteges, I can call her that, an ex-student of mine, who makes money in the millions from TikTok. She walked into the office. I hadn't seen her in about 3 years. And I asked her, I said, I knew you when you were at the top of the ladder, when you had this Viscuits platform. There was a Chinese platform, Viscuits. I don't know if you remember it. And now, Viscuits is no more, but you're still doing something. What are you doing? She said, oh, yeah, I make money from TikTok now. I said, please, how do you do so? And then she started talking to me about how they would be having live videos, and then they will gift them some things if they are really impressed. And I hear people fund their wallets and their accounts to buy gifts to give you that is running a live. And then you take that gift and then you can convert it and cash out, maybe with PayPal or something. And I hear this is where these young people are, and they've been doing it. That's why you will be talking to someone today, and they wouldn't listen to you, because to them they feel like, what I have you don't have. What I know you don't know. And technology, I mean, if you're really looking at it, has technology been helping us? Yes. In the health space. A lot of us can jog and walk for 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours now because of your headphones. That's part of technology. And because you can jam your favorite playlist and songs, you are actually able to go longer with physical fitness. You get into the gym and you see some of them, they just block the ears. Or some gyms now just play music, And then you find out that, okay, some of you cannot do exercise without having your Fitbit on, your wristwatch. Gone are the days where you go to the hospital, you spend 2 to 3 hours trying to get a card. It's, for those of you that were born here, you understand what I'm talking about. If you've ever been to a general hospital, you know this one. Spend 2 to 3 hours trying to get a card so that you want to see the specialist or doctor. Then you finally see the specialist, then they check out what's wrong with you, then they say you should go run a test. You run that test at the lab, it's another 1 hour gone. Then they finally bring it back, it's another 1 hour gone. And then they prescribe, then you go to the pharmacy. It's another 2 hours gone. You've spent like 6 hours. Now you can do all of that from the comfort of your phone. I recently came across a drugstore, an online drugstore that will not, so you can, you can consult with your medical doctors online, but now you can also get your medication by ordering here in Nigeria. You take that prescription, you send it in, and then they will send you the meds. So from the comfort of so if you are here, health-wise, or not just health-wise, because this conversation goes beyond health, business, creativity, anything, if you do not think that technology is supposed to be your best friend, then you're sitting on hot coal.
Thank you very much, Bimbo. And that's so true. So I'm going to come to you, Lady Bimbo. Okay, and the question is, how can individuals navigate work-life balance and integration to prioritize their health during disruptions? Before you answer this question, I think it was Forever that stood here. He said something. No, it's not Forever. It's the other comedian, Phage. He said, I can work under pressure. He can ability to work under pressure. I wrote that in my CV. How many of us wrote that in our CVs too? Because we wanted to get, people are not raising up your hands. How many of us wrote it? Ability to work under pressure. We wrote it, right? But last year when I sat down with that word, I said, no, I don't have the ability to work under pressure. In fact, I am anti-pressure, right? I want to work in a way that pressure doesn't consume me. I'm intentional about the way I work so that I'm not always under pressure, because it's not healthy. The way it made it look, pressure looked so okay. So if you say you cannot work under pressure, you've lost the job. So they really want to kill me from day one. Do you understand? So I want to ask this question because a lot of people are in jobs they hate because they want to feed their family. They're in jobs they wish they had nothing to do with that job, but they just have to do it. So this is where I think the work-life balance plays a role, because if you enjoy your job, for someone like me, I've been privileged to do something I love. from the day I was born till today. So it's not pressure. I love it. Now the other side, the downside of that work is being able to know when to balance it myself, to know, okay, you need to rest. But it's not induced from the work that I do. So I just want to ask that question again clearly so you understand. How can individuals navigate work-life balance and integration to prioritize their health during disruptions?
Okay, thanks very much. I like what Fage said, that I work under pressure, because Lagos is really full of pressure. I lived in Port Harcourt for over 27 years or more, and my life got disrupted and I had to come to Lagos. And honestly, I grew up in Lagos. I was very happy to escape to a quieter place, and I found myself back in Lagos. And it had not changed. From the days of odd and even, we're still struggling with traffic. Life is just so fast-forwarded that you can't even think. And so it's very important to find your own balance in all this. There's so much pressure. There's pressure, home pressures, work pressure, life pressure, disruption pressure, even worse. And I would like to say, the first thing I'd like to say is that you need to connect with yourself. Engaging in mindfulness activities is really very important. Knowing yourself, finding who you are. We've said so much, but I'd like to say that not finding who you are, you can be sucked in and you can be totally thrown out of balance. This could lead to very serious consequences like ill health, depression, mental health. I always say mental health issues is everywhere. Everybody has it. If you press the wrong button, it will fly out. The person will start, So in order to find balance in all this, we need to all get in touch with ourselves. We talked about self-awareness, self-kindness. We need to choose also self-worth as against self-esteem. I actually talk a lot about self-worth. That self-esteem is subjective, is something that you placed on yourself. So it's external. You have to, it's what you have. Somebody said it's not about what you have. It's what you have, how you look, and that is Lagos for you. Lagos is very appearance. What you see, the car you are driving. Okay, I think it was a real worry became. The car you are driving, the this, you are that, and all that makes you. But that's just a lie. What really makes you is what you have inside. Whether you have what others have or not. So you need to get in touch with yourself. We have many people living work life, trying to be like somebody else. I met a lady during a talk, a young lady, and she said, I live at Berger, and I work at VI. I leave home at 4:30, and I get back home at whether 11. And I said, you are dying. Either you move near your work or you quit that work. There are some mothers, they wake so early in the morning, they leave their babies, they fly to work, they don't come back until night. They don't even know what has happened to that child all day. CCTV is not enough. So in order to find this balance, you have to, like we heard today, pause, sit down, think, relate to yourself. What do I have to offer? Some people have quit their jobs like we heard today, and the real lion, the real person comes out, and they actually, become much more successful than when they were actually struggling. I have to work in Shell, I have to work here, I have to work there, and they are going up and down. So we need to really get, I think I'll really hinge on that. Self-connection, self-love, as against self-judgment. When we're disrupted, there's so much judgment. There's so much self-criticism. There's so much negative talk. We need to get over that so that we can recover, we can make the correct choices. Because when you are not recovering, you make very, very wrong choices. You make wrong choices. Gyms are very good. I did gym for 22 years. I ran a gym and a spa, and I had to just close it down. People close to me were calling me Bimbo, this gym must not close down, because it was my life. Once you sit down with me, within 10 minutes, I started talking about gym, spa, gym. So I had to, quit all that to come to Lagos. But I always tell people, it's good to have that fantastic figure, but not at the expense of your life. You can be healthy be healthy first. Be healthy first. And then you can have the figure later. So what am I saying in all this is that in life, because we call it work-life balance, it's also a life balance. We have to have a balance in life. We have to choose our own path. And it has to relate to who we are, what purpose we have been called to. And then we begin to, move out as that person that we truly are. Not because somebody else is like this or the other person is like that. So that is really, really very... I know I'm missing the point, but I think...
No, you've answered the question.
Yes, I want to talk about staying in the present too. We talked a little bit about, staying connected to your... Yeah, we talked about saying, I waited all day, my head is hot. So I'm going to say my own now, I have the mic.
Okay.
I'm going to rush and talk about staying in the present too. It's very important for work-life balance. Okay. Many times we're not connecting to the present. Somebody said, stay in the present. Connect to the present, where I am. Where am I? Enjoy where you are. Because I want to be the director, I want to be the president, does not mean I should die being that. Let me stop. I have a lot of signals.
Thank you very much. Yes, someone wanted to clap. Please feel free to clap. Your health always comes first. I mean, for me, that's my slogan. Anything that's going to rob me of my health, takes the back seat. It's not easy, but sometimes, like you just mentioned, that mom may be the breadwinner of her family, and that's the price to pay. But like you also said, it's important, self-awareness. And when I came to that point, too, when I had to leave things, I was talking to Bimbo, I think I've shared this with Steph as well. It was one of those things, I was known to be a dance person and all of that, suffered something that had to do with my spine, so I had to quit dancing professionally. I just couldn't leave dance. Dance had grown beyond movement for me. It was more like a lifestyle. It was more like a powerful tool I believed could change the world. But what was happening to me, the more I danced, the more I was in pain. The more I danced, the more I was losing myself. The more they had to practically carry me with my neck like this from a dance class, And I just said, okay, Esther, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to impress? At that moment, I said it yesterday, that I realized there were 360 expressions, and dance is only one. Dance is only one. So it means I have 359. Why am I going to kill myself, trying to build a life around dance? I found a new meaning. I integrated dance into my practice. And till now, I'm still dancing. Probably not dancing that way. But I go to dance conferences. I share. For me, that's dance. Dance is given to the dance community. We need to sit with ourselves, become self-aware, realize what is priority. That child needs her mother. How else can we do this? We have to sit with ourselves. It's very important. I'm going to be asking you, Bimbo. I think I'd already mentioned the impact of dance therapy. Dance rappy you were doing online. You know how people talk about dance 10 years ago, 20 years ago, as in like dance was like a joke. But dance helped me lose weight, right? It was dance I could do. I can't stand the gym. Dance helped me lose weight. So what would you say? Because I'm expecting you to answer and put dance as the answer to this question, but just in case you don't, what are some healthier coping mechanisms that individuals can adopt during these disruptive times?
Okay. So let me put the dance that you are saying. Find it. Steph can attest to this, and of course Dolapo as well. Find a dance class. It helps you mentally. It helps you to relax. But, like Esther said, it's beyond that. I think the first thing you need to do is to understand that the disruption is part of the plan. A lot of us try to, and forgive me, I'm going a bit away from health, but you would know why I went here. A lot of us try to avoid the disruption instead of preparing for it. You are trying to run away from your 7 years of farming. Somebody didn't get what I just said.
We heard you.
You are trying to run away from your 7 years of farming. You cannot run away from your years of farming. It is part of the cycle.
True.
What you can do is be prepared for it. You can prepare yourself in such a way you build that capacity. A couple of people have spoken about building capacity. Build the capacity to a stage where when the famine comes, you are like Egypt. in that time. You're the one lending advice, lending to nations. You're the one being there for people. Why? Because you were ready for it. You are not surprised by the disruption. Everybody would go through famine. It is a part of life. And you can say, oh, it's because you were not very organized, or because you missed this and you missed that. That is why this disruption happened. Allow me to burst your bubble. God that sits in heaven and rules over the affairs of men. The Bible that I read records clearly that there was war in heaven. And when there was war in heaven, 1/3 of all the angels fell. That is the master of structure we're talking about. That is the heaven that we talk about. If war can happen in the most secure place, and 1/3 of the angels drop, is it that God was not, he's not a structured human being or person? Oh, he's not the all-knowing? What are you going to say about that? If 1/3 of the angels can drop, why are you complaining about the small thing that happened to you? Do you know the kind of disruption that is? To wake up one morning and 1/3 of your army gone to the other side. Some of us will shut down immediately. And then this is the same Bible that says, created the heavens and the earth. And then there was darkness upon the face of the deep. I say this a lot, and I'll repeat it here. Darkness upon the face of the deep. The Bible is not a mistake. It says exactly how it is. Forgive me, I'm Spirit of David. This is what I believe in.
One love, bro. Let's go.
Darkness upon the face of the deep. That deep that the Bible is referring to is the depth of all the creativity that we carry. The beginning of the new level or the new era that you are about to step into starts with disruption. So if you want to step into something new, you cannot be running away from the chaos that is supposed to help you produce it. And so when it says let there be light and all that, of course it's saying shine light, see through, because I have treasures on the inside. So now let me come back home, because I've gone somewhere. I'm coming back now. At the end of the day, if you understand that disruption is part of the process, your mindset changes. You no longer fear it. Instead, you start looking out for opportunities to make sure it does not surprise you. You know, in our own case, when COVID came and it hit us bad, like it hit everyone, we had our instructors camp. And our instructors camped for the entire year. And just because, and I'm talking coping mechanism, don't worry, I've not forgotten your question. And because they were together, it was easier to go through the time. A lot of you want to switch to isolation mode when disruption happens. Because disruption is like something is taken away from me. You feel like something has stopped working. Someone described it. Oh, Dr. Osas is gone. He talked about the junction and where you decide to either go back or going forward. You feel like you are there. Something is stopping me from going forward. And you feel like you have failed, so you run into your shell. The first thing you should do is find people whose eyes light up when they see you walk into the room. I'll say that again. To cope in times like that is to find people whose eyes light up. People who are happy and excited to see you walk into the room. Stay away from people who are not exactly happy when you show up.
Thank you very much, Bimbo. Thank you so much. There's so much to release, right? But for the want of time.
So let me just.
Want to summarize?
Yeah, let me just.
Okay,
summarize.
great.
So I've spoken about the dance and other forms of exercise.
Yeah.
Then I've spoken about family. I'm talking about family. People you can call family. For some of you, You need to spend time with yourself. And I think that's what my sister was trying to say. The mindfulness side of things. You need to spend time with yourself. Because the next stage, you see, when you go through a heartbreak, you find family. Family gives you comfort. They give you strength. They reassure you of who you are. They tell you that you are loved. But they're not telling you that you are loved so that you stay in the house. They're telling you that you are loved because they will soon have to kick you out again. And when you go out, this time around, you are going out to spend time with yourself. Because you have to create the next level. That disruption happened, you need to move to the next level. You cannot move through to the next level with family help, unfortunately. You have to do that on your own. So there's a step to it. And while you're doing that, of course, then you can now say, oh, running, walking, taking long walks, meditation, and all of those. Those that copy. But the first thing you need to do is, apart from finding what you love like dance, is find a family that would help you heal. And the moment you complete the cycle, know that because you were ready for this disruption, you have to go back onto the drawing board and recreate the next level. If you stay there, you will never grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, please put your hands together for him. You can see that there's so much more that he wants to share. But if you picked anything, you just know that he said, look into yourself first. Self-awareness. The second thing he said, family. Third thing, community. Community. And then the key word is people that love, that their eyes light up when you walk into the room. That spoke to me because I have people like that who are gingering me. Those are the kind of people that you should surround yourself with. And in just one word, because we don't have time, one word, not a sentence, one word. So this is on the spot, right? What would you tell someone who's sitting, one word, not a sentence. What would you tell someone sitting right here who is struggling with either weight loss, who is struggling? I'm coming now. Anything is possible. Just calm down first. Let me finish. What in one word? So if you can't do one word, maybe a sentence. But it's one word that is preferable right now. So in one word, what would you tell someone who is struggling here with weight loss, or who is struggling here with finding what works for them? What would be that one word? In these disruptive times, in just one word. If you try it doesn't work, you can take a sentence. Dolly.
Discipline. Commitment.
Okay, one word.
And dedication. I'm sorry, I can't say one word.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Discipline,
commitment, and dedication.
Fantastic. Guys, please put your hands together for this panel. It's been an insightful session.